This is the NF-388. Its box says it can test Cat5, Cat6, telephone, coax, USB and other cables. It tests for open, short, jump and reverse connections, and it can measure cable length, test polarity and flash ports on network switches. Righto. Inside we find a nice little carry bag that contains the tester, tone tester, one, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 remote receivers for the tester. 8 of those, and some cables. So we have a short RJ12 and RJ45 patch lead, and a RJ12 to alligator clip connector, which comes in handy with the tone tester. The bag itself is shit, to put it bluntly. Okay, so it's got these pockets on the side that are supposed to hold each individual remote, but they don't work very well because they're not sealed at the bottom. So more often than not, the remote will actually just fall out. And it doesn't have pockets for all of them. So inside it actually only has one pocket for the tone tester. This pocket the remotes don't actually fit in, and the other one there. So you end up with 3 of them floating around in the bottom, and then you struggle to fit everything back in neatly. Right, a tone tester. Pretty simple. Volume slider on it. It's got a LED light. I don't have the battery in at the moment, and I'll explain why. It's got a push to test button and a headphone jack if you really need that. Okay, so the issue I have with this, it works brilliantly for what it's worth. It is a powerful tool, seeing as how this thing is only around $80 Australian. It is more than worth its money, but it's not without its drawbacks. So with the included bag, if you are using it, when everything is inside and you push the tester in, there's actually enough force to depress the LED light button. So at the end of the day, you're done using it, you throw it back in, you don't notice, close the lid, throw it back in the van, and the LED light turns on. So the next time you go to use it, the battery's dead and you need another 9-volt battery. So I always take the battery out after I'm finished using this. It only includes one RJ45 patch lead, so to actually use all 8 of the remote testers, you will need to buy quite a fair few more. It comes in 2 colours, so this is the one I've been using. It was so handy that I ordered another one. So this one is more set up how I use it. So I've got the shortest patch leads I could get plugged in, and I leave them all plugged in and carry them all around in a bundle. Over here, got the tester with patch lead just always plugged into the top. Same bag with this one, same cables, headphone, I threw away the little patch lead. It was mostly useless. It's not bad, but I usually found it so short that if you're using it on the main test unit and you plug it in like a patch panel and you have to leave it there, it sits there just hanging off the connector, and I don't like that. Tester itself. So if we plug in, right, menu settings. Okay, so it's got the wire map, it's got pair and length. Get rid of that. Wire map, pair and length, coax and telephone, port flash, polar test, and setup. If we enter the setup menu, we can change the units from meters to feet. We can calibrate it, which I won't do at the moment, and just change the settings for the backlight, because it does have a backlit screen. Polarity test for PoE stuff, which always comes in handy. I haven't used the coax and telephone testing yet. I haven't found need for it, but you might. Pair and length. If I plug a tester in, right, so it's telling me this is a 1 meter patch lead at the moment, which I know it's not. How long is it? It's a ½ meter one, which would make sense if it's testing over pairs. The return value should be double what the actual length is, so it will return double the length of the actual Cat6 cable. So that is, I guess it's spot on. Pairs 3 and 6 and 4 and 5, and then you have wire map. So it does actually make a beeping sound, which helps a lot if you've got, say, 8 of these plugged in and you want to be able to locate which port's which for labeling and whatnot. You can actually just listen for it, and it will it basically makes a tone every time it tests a pair. Righto, that's it for the menu. Now the other function this has is the tone testing. So, tone tester out, and for good reason, I keep the 9-volt battery out of this. LED light, not overly useful, but would come in handy. And then push to test. So I'll crank the volume up, and if you change it from off to scan with the switch in the middle, yeah, so it makes that obnoxious noise, but it does come in handy when you're searching for cables. If I plug in a cable to the RJ45 scan port, and then we can tone test down its length. Very handy. And then just remember to turn it off, as it will run the battery down. It does not turn off in that mode. It also does the RJ11 scan, which is quite useful when using the alligator clips. You can hook it onto any kind of cable really, as long as you've got 2 cores, and can pretty confidently locate it with the cable tester, which I've used it more than once to find light cables. It comes in handy. All up for $60. I think you'd be mad not to have one in your toolkit, even if it gets wrecked or gets thrown around, beaten up. They're so cheap for the functionality you get out of them. Probably not if you're a professional and have to give test reports on all the cables you test. I mean, it's unreliable, as it is with all these cheap Chinese brands. It's not the best. So, but if you're just an electrician or running Cat 6 around your house, always a good thing to have. Just another small issue with these. These back plates are horrendous. We've got no retaining mechanism at all. So if you drop it a few times, or if you bump it around, it gets bumped around in your tool bag, and this back panel comes off, it will just fly away. You won't be able to find it again. The battery just hangs free, which is the case on this one. I've already lost it, and it really is a deal breaker when using this, whether the battery keeps falling out or not. It does have a 12-volt DC jack, so you can power it without the battery, but I don't see many situations where that would be preferable.